literacy council came up for us kind of out of nowhere. We were just getting Izzy tested, and I was trying to find some resources, and I found out about the St. Augustine Project and decided to write in and let them know what was going on. And we were able to get a tutor immediately, which for us was a big deal because at the time, trying to find a tutor that we could afford was going to be impossible. And when we found out about the Literacy Council and the fact that we would be offered free tutoring, we were so happy we couldn't believe it. And on top of it, that the tutor would come to the school too. So that was really a big deal for us to be able to find the assistance that Izzy needed outside of school and for it to also be free. When Izzy was very young, 5 years old, I, as a mom, I think, knew that there was a challenge there somehow because she is a kid who has been read to since she was in the womb, and she has always had access to books and access to really any information that she's wanted. But what I learned and saw was that she was just memorizing the things I was reading to her. So she would grab a book and it kind of seemed like she was reading it, but really she was just memorizing what had already been read to her. So I tried to get her tested because something just wasn't right when she was 5 years old. And then I was told that she couldn't be tested until she was 7 due to some sort of developmental stuff. And so as soon as she turned 7, I had her tested literally the day after her 7th birthday. And she was diagnosed with auditory processing disorder, which basically means the sounds don't sound the same to her as they do to everyone else. Improvements in the beginning were, I think, a little bit harder for us to see because she was so young. But I think as she has continued to do the tutoring through the Literacy Council and be able to implement the tools that she's learning, we see a bigger difference every year. And that is not just in the difference of, she's improved from the letter H to P, but it's also having to do with her confidence and seeing that she's able to stop and use those tools that she's learned along the way in order to kind of decode what she's reading and what she's working on. Reading disability has always affected her the most with confidence. I think that not being able to read and not being able to read the same thing that your peers are reading has always really made her confidence a little bit less than maybe her peers. But what I do see is that working through becoming a better reader, she has been gaining that confidence and has been able to self-advocate a lot more than she could have in the beginning. Please volunteer. Without volunteers, Izzy, who knows where she would be right now? And the volunteers aren't just volunteering, helping read. The volunteers also help with the confidence, the self-advocating, and with being able to change how you feel about reading. I think that you just become a better reader.